Hello and welcome to Dishing Delights. My name is Jenica and today I'm going to share with you the dinners that I made this week. Let's get into it. The first dinner we are going to make is unstuffed green peppers. For this I needed a green pepper, some rice that was pre-cooked, an onion, a can of tomato soup, 12 ounces of cooked ground beef, and some cheese to top it. To start off, I am going to chop up all of my veggies into uniform diced pieces. I'm then going to add them to my cast iron skillet. And now that those are in my cast iron skillet, I am just going to let them cook through until the onions are translucent and the peppers are fully cooked. This should take about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how you like your onions. Now that my onions and green peppers are fully cooked, I'm going to add my 12 ounces of cooked ground beef to this dish. Now I have made this since then, and I added a tablespoon of taco seasoning and about a quarter cup of water, and I really love the flavor of that. My husband didn't like it as much as he liked just this because he's not a huge taco seasoning fan, but I really enjoyed that. So right here I'm just adding a little bit of garlic powder. That's all I seasoned this with today. And then once that is all mixed through, I'm going to add, and once all of that is mixed through, I'm going to add my can of tomato soup. Now, if you have a bigger family than I do, you might want to double this recipe. As you can see here, I'm adding in just a couple tablespoons of water, just so I can make sure that I can mix this rice in thoroughly and it's not going to dry out. And once all of that rice is mixed in, I'm going to top this with some cheese. And then we are going to put that straight in the oven at 350 degrees for 18 to 25 minutes. I believe I took mine out at about 22-ish minutes. And as you can see, it's all nice and bubbly. This dinner was delicious. This is definitely going to be a go-to from here on out. The next dinner we are going to make is Big Mac salads. If you haven't noticed, all of these dinners this week are made from the whole chicken and the ground beef that I made in the previous meal prep video. So that made this week's dinners come together super quickly, and that's also why they are so simple. So as you can see here, I am just adding in my ground beef. I am then going to add my tomatoes into my salad. My husband does not prefer tomatoes, so I didn't add any to his, but I did add a little bit of cheese. I skipped on mine. I'm going to top that with Thousand Island dressing because that's what makes it Big Mac. I'm going to add a little bit of green onion and a whole lot of homemade croutons. And that is what's for dinner. This was super delicious. I love a good salad. So for this recipe, I was trying to make some sort of like enchilada rice bake. I don't know exactly where I was going here, but I'll show you what I made and then I'll show you what I turned it into. So I have my veggies that I'm going to chop up with my food chopper because I finally found that in the back of the cupboard. Isn't it the best when you find one of your favorite kitchen tools that's been missing for months? It's the best feeling ever. So we are going to chop these up. I'll leave this vegetable chopper down in the description below. We are going to add those into my stainless steel pot with just a little bit of oil. And we are going to cook those through just like we did the last recipe. And after those are fully cooked, we are going to add in our chicken. With a little bit of water and some taco seasoning. We are going to mix that until it's fully combined, and then I will eventually bring you over and I'll show you how I made this dish. So right here I have layered some refried beans in this casserole dish. I am then going to layer in some cooked rice, and on top of that I am going to throw in that veggie and chicken mixture. And I'm going to put a nice even layer in this, and then I am going to take that enchilada sauce and I'm going to drizzle it all over. I wish I wouldn't have drizzled as much. I think that's what I did wrong, is I put a little too much sauce in this and it just gave it way too much of a smoky flavor for me. So I topped this with cheese, and then when I served this originally, I just served it with some lettuce on top. And this was okay, this was edible, but it was not my favorite at all. So the next day I turned it into a soup. And I'll show you that coming up. So in our meal prep video, we made some chicken stock. So that is what I am doing right now. I'm pulling off the fat from that chicken stock. I am then going to add in my rice into my slow cooker. I love this little slow cooker. It's the best thing ever. And then I'm going to take in that chicken stock until I feel that it's the right soup consistency that I want. Now everything in this dish is already cooked, so this is not going to take long at all to heat through. I think it took about an hour and a half on low. Now, as you can see, this made a delicious soup, and we ended up eating this 2 different nights. All right, on to the next night. This was just like one of those nights where we made whatever we had on hand. I heated up some rice for myself and a couple pieces of chicken, and I just served myself a super simple dinner. And if you're wondering where my veggies were, I had nothing but carrots for lunch. So anyways. So for my husband's meal, this is one of his favorites, and it disgusts me so much, but it's one of his favorites, so you gotta do what you gotta do. I took a can of baked beans, and then I also took some cooked ground beef, and all we are doing is just heating this through. Fun fact, my husband made this on our honeymoon. I did not eat it, but that's a true story. So on Friday nights lately, I have been making pizza. I made enough dough for the whole entire month, so on Thursday night I pulled that dough out, I put it in the fridge, and I let it completely thaw out. And about an hour and a half before making it, I brought this dough out from the refrigerator and I just tossed it on my counter and let it rise. Now it didn't really rise again, but this turned out absolutely perfect. I had that leftover chicken. I decided I was going to make a barbecue chicken pizza, so I kept it simple with a layer of sauce, some mozzarella cheese, and some chicken. Of course, I also put some garlic butter on the crust, and this turned out amazing. This was my favorite pizza yet. I mean, come on, look at that bubbled up goodness. This was phenomenal. Of course, I sprinkled a little bit of green onion on top, and this was our Friday night dinner. All right, I have the air fryer preheating, and I'm going to make some sweet potato fries and some chicken, but I'm just going to heat that up. I think one of my favorite things about being child-free and my husband having a lot of outdoor hobbies is at least a couple nights a week I get to do whatever I want for dinner. Like, he's not a fan of sweet potato fries, so this is something that I can make now, and he can just heat up some leftovers once he gets home. We just got another snow last night. We probably got 2.5 to 3 inches. Probably one of the last snows of the year. And then ice fishing season will be over shortly. And then it'll be river fishing season. Should I be using this knife? No. Am I going to continue to? Absolutely. Alright, I went and broke out the bigger knife. Figured the last thing that we need is to have another finger reattachment in this household. I think we've had enough with my husband to last a lifetime. I just realized that you guys probably wouldn't understand that. My husband decided about the year before we got engaged to cut off his thumb, putting in a metal T-post. It's quite the time in our life. Some of them I'm just gonna chop in half. I have a little bit of oil here. A little bit of garlic and onion powder. A little bit of parsley. I like my sweet potatoes super savory. Alright, we're gonna cook these babies up. I just hit the fry setting. I'm going to see how that works on my air fryer. Woo! I have my sweet potato fries and my chicken. I just tossed a piece of a chicken breast. Hot! Let's get some tongs. Yum. And that is what's for dinner. And any of you who are like, where are your vegetables? I eat more raw vegetables than anyone I know. I am constantly pulling celery and carrots and radishes and anything. Lettuce even, raw out of the fridge and snacking on it. I've done that since I was a child. So almost every night I'm going through my fridge and grabbing like 3 large carrots. That's the sad part about growing up, is you eat carrots instead of chips for a snack. Alright, I'm going to eat. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. If you like this video, please make sure you like it, leave a comment down below, make sure you're subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload my next video. Thank you so much for watching.